Yes, Zachary, we are indeed in the best spot because we are at King's.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That was smooth.
The best spot is heaven, but who cares?
I said a good spot. I didn't say the best spot.
Well, you said a good spot, then you said we are in the best spot. And so
Well, the best spot on YouTube.
No. Probably not, but
No, we are. We are. No. This is called advertising. We are the #1 YouTube channel, actually. And if
No,
you
we
don't know
aren't.
that, then you're stupid.
No, we aren't, Nathan.
Oh.
We have
We're not.
76 subscribers.
Hey, subscribe. We know you're watching. We know you can see us. Okay, if you're watching the little
sorry.
short things, the shorts, they're short like that. They're like Zach, they're short. Subscribe.
I saw a really tall girl at Longhorn last night.
What does that have to do with subscriptions?
I don't know. That just popped into my head.
Wait, hold on. You went to Longhorn without me?
Yeah. with
Why
my
did you
grandpa.
go to...
Because
And you didn't give me leftovers?
it's Longhorn.
I gave you leftovers. You didn't even offer.
Nathan.
You could have just said, hey, Nathan, do you want some ribs? I've been like, yeah, I'll Venmo you.
It's Longhorn, not
This is true.
McDonald's.
This is true.
You want to go to Longhorn, you can do it yourself.
I filled up my water so that this could last the entire thing. I'm already 2/3 the way down. It's been less than a minute. No, it's been a minute 30 seconds.
Are you going to be a problem?
I mean,
Not you, the cat.
I can still answer the question. It depends on the day.
Yep. Are you going to be a problem? I don't know if y'all can see him, but
He's being extra.
yeah, right before so when Anakin was a kid and now with Buddy still being a kid, he likes chewing on the cords that we used for recording and live streaming and all that junk. And we were setting up.
Yeah, that didn't go over well.
And we told Buddy, no, don't chew that. And like right in front of me, I gotta admire his confidence at least.
Oh, yeah.
Like right in front of me, he just goes up and like chews on one of the cords. Starts chewing on one of the cords, and I was just like, nope, you're going in the room.
Honestly, I was impressed that he did it.
I was actually kind of low-key impressed by his confidence,
Dude.
but
This guy is trying to outbid me. I'm not going to be okay with this.
Nathan's trying to get a new computer.
I'm
and
trying to
it's
get
not
a new
working.
computer. No, it is working. I am working. Actually, I am the besting.
You're the best thing.
You know what? We're going to bid 245. I am the lead, actually. If it goes above 250, then I'm going to have to call it quits.
All right.
I'll have to find another option here.
Yeah, we've got this done for science.
We are a science.
All right, Nathan, what
Yeah.
are we talking about?
We are talking about LGBT.
And abortion, but
Abortion, LGBT. Is that what we're talking about? Wait, we have multiple topics.
we have multiple topics. We're going to be talking about LGBT. We're going to be talking about abortion. Just basically, I said this before the podcast, kind of like the wokeness culture, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But let's start. Where do you want to start, Nathan?
With, you know what? I think it'd be easier for us to start with LGBT and then transition into abortion.
All right. So,
I'm trying to pull up some Genesis 14 here.
no, this issue goes back to even Genesis 2.
Oh, I know.
But,
I want you to start there. I want to go to the lot stuff.
the lot. Oh, yeah, we're gonna go there. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, and you should know this by now if you watch us consistently,
Chapter 19, not 14. Sorry,
if you watch us consistently enough,
that's what I got confused.
we've done Bible shorts, we've done several topics on the Bible. We are Christians. That means,
Mm-hmm.
well, we love, like we biblically, why we love our those struggling with either with same-sex attraction or, I do not feel that this is the right body for me, or I do not, any of that stuff. Like anything that's in LGBTQIA plus, any of the letters. While we are called to love them as members of the body, it does not mean we support their sin. Because unfortunately, LGBTQIA plus is sin. It is.
Yeah.
And before we get further, since before we get any further, I just remembered we were gonna do this, and I should have done this at the beginning of the episode. I'm sorry.
You go ahead, interject, because I'm still finding something.
This is, since we are talking about LGBTQ and abortion, the disclaimer: if you are a parent who watches this with your kids and has a different plan than using our podcast to help you discuss that, we are okay with you clicking off, and we are okay with that. You if you do not feel like this is the right context to talk with your kids about this subject, click off, go watch something else for now, and then if you want to come back later, you can come back later. We're not going to be offended.
Yeah.
If you are, I know some of our teens from the youth group watch this. If you are one of those teens, or you are a kid that watches our YouTube channel for other stuff, I'd advise you to pause the episode.
Yeah, pause the episode. Seriously.
Pause the episode and go to your parents and say, "Hey, Mom, Dad, I saw this podcast I listened to is talking about this kind of stuff. Can we watch it together so you can answer my questions?" We do not. We're going to be talking about serious issues today. While we want you to learn, and we are interested in you furthering your education. We also realize that we might not be at times we might not be the best tool for your learning. And that's not a dig on either of us. It's just
we're not the best tool, because while we're not going to tell you anything that we don't think is wrong, or that would be, at least, we're going to tell you something that's biblically backable and correct.
Right.
But there are avenues of teaching that you should take, and we know most of the people in the youth group, their parents,
they have come to us and said, "Hey, we have plans on telling our kids about these issues."
And
we are okay with that.
And they are the primary source of learning for the kids. We are the secondary, or the third even.
Right.
So if you're one of our kids, or if you're one of, somebody else's kids or whatever, or even adult, and you're not comfortable, which you shouldn't be, ask Mom and Dad.
Ask Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
Click off. We're not going to be offended. And, hey, you can come back and watch this later after you've talked to Mom and Dad.
Right.
Or, if you are a parent, say, "Hey, this might actually be a useful tool to teach my kids about this stuff." Pause the video whenever you think it's necessary as a parent.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we're covered.
I think we're good there.
But
yeah.
just to get all of that out of the way, towards the beginning of the episode, just be aware of what we're going to be talking about, and use discernment and how you do this, and how you view this video in particular. All right, so you've got a passage pulled up, and before we go there, Nathan, I'm gonna go back to Genesis 2. This is why we kind of talked about creation a little bit. I know we went into theistic evolution and why that's not possible, but I want to go into Genesis chapter 2. This is where God is creating man and woman, right?
Right.
Right. He's creating man.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was looking for something, and I finally just found it. It was in the
Alright.
Greek. Okay,
you
I
good.
got there. Sorry, that took me a minute.
Right. So, all right. I'm gonna start in Genesis 2:18.
Uh-huh.
So just a little bit of context. What has just happened before? God has just created the Garden of Eden
Mhm.
and put Adam in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only human now at this point in Genesis, at this point in human history, is Adam.
Mm-hmm.
God has just created the garden. He's put Adam in there and said, "Hey, do not eat of the tree."
Yeah.
Although I knew you were going to, but do not eat of the tree.
Yeah. I agree with you.
So I'm going to start. So that's what's happening. Adam's in the garden. He's naming all the animals.
Yep.
So I'm going to start in verse 18. Then the Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make him a helper suitable for him." And out of the ground the Lord God formed every animal of the field and every bird of the sky. Now, going back to Genesis 1, again, more context. I love context. Context is key.
Context is very key.
Going back to Genesis 1, all the birds, all the fish of the sea, all the animals, God spoke, poof, elephant. Pretty much.
That's basically, yeah,
That's
more or less what happened.
That's Zach paraphrasing.
It went, woo-doo-woo, and it showed up. That's the
Anyway.
exact noise he made, actually, was woo-doo, and then it was animals. And then wah-bah-bah, and then the air.
Okay.
Sorry.
Continuing on with verse 19. Animal of the field, every bird of the sky, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever the man called a living creature, that was its name. So, dinosaur is a dinosaur, tiger is a tiger, elephant's an elephant, and Kermit the Frog is Kermit the Frog.
Yep.
Essentially.
Basically.
That's what's happening here.
Yep.
Verse 20. The man gave name to all the livestock and to all the birds of the sky and to every animal of the field. But for Adam there was not found a helper suitable to him. So, pause. Brief. God just, no. I'm sorry.
Wait. Are you pausing on the helper part, or are you pausing on the rib part? Oh, you're not at the rib yet.
I'm not at the rib yet.
Yeah.
So, what I'm saying, what these verses here are saying, is that if you are someone who draws pleasure from being an animal, realize bestiality.
It's okay. We can say it.
Bestiality. Know that even in the beginning, God is saying there is not a helper suitable among the animals.
Really, man? You get pleasure from an animal.
Nathan,
Just call what it is. Bestiality.
shut the heck up, and let me continue. Okay.
Do we need to restart this podcast?
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
I'm fine. You're the one here over here losing your mind.
I'm not losing my mind. I'm just telling you, you can say it. You don't have to be
I know.
awkward about it.
I know. I'm just
You're
choosing
okay.
to be awkward. Anyway. Okay, so verse 21. So the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and he slept.
Yes, he did.
Then he took one of his ribs. I'm missing a rib, I knew it. And closed up the flesh at the place. And the Lord God fashioned
I sure hope he did.
into a woman
Open wound.
the rib which he had taken from the man. And he brought her to the man. Then the man said, at last, this is flesh of my flesh, or this is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man.
Mm-hmm.
For this reason, a man shall leave his father and his mother, and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And the man and his wife were both naked, and they were not ashamed.
So you're telling me the reason why you didn't bring me ribs the other day is because you're not a woman?
No, it's because it was Longhorn. It's because
I was trying to tee up that joke. I've been teeing that up for 15 minutes.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
That was pretty smart. That was slick. I've been waiting for that one.
There's nothing slick about you, Nathan. There are some jokes. Y'all, if you haven't noticed by now, there are some jokes that
man.
Nathan makes that I just elect to ignore.
Oh man, that was good. I was waiting. That was floating in outer space. That was so obvious.
I saw it coming and I couldn't stop it.
It was literally like a shining star, just waiting,
Okay.
waiting.
Hey. Distract Miss Prime.
Well, of course I'm distracting, 'cause that's my job. So how does that relate to LGBT, Zach?
So all that relates. Okay, so bestiality, we already talked about it. There was not a helper found suitable among the animals
Yeah.
for him, right?
Yeah.
And then God made a helper suitable for him from his own body.
Yeah. So basically, another human that's been upgraded.
Right.
Basically. Yeah.
But
I'm saying women are cool. That's all I'm saying.
But the crux of where this relates to LGBT,
Mm-hmm.
and well, okay, so the people who are really this is where it's verse 23 and 24 is where it really is. So, God made woman from man.
Mm-hmm.
God formed man from the dirt,
Mm-hmm.
which means, as David says in the Psalms, King David, he says, "You have fashioned me in my womb," and we'll get into this a little bit later when we start talking about abortion.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll get into that passage a little bit more. You have fashioned me in my womb, which means if you are someone who's struggling particularly with, I feel like I'm in the wrong body, whether that's whether that's I identify as a fox, I identify as
the
a
opposite
man
gender,
or the opposite gender,
yeah. Or not a gender.
or not a gender.
Maybe you're non-binary or something like that.
Recognize that God has created you in that gender for a specific purpose.
Well, before you get to that,
Right.
I think there's a bigger issue of identity.
Right.
Because that's what this whole movement's about, is
Right.
identity. And, before you can drop and I agree with you, by the way, before you can drop God's made you for a specific purpose, we have to hit the heart of the issue.
Right.
And so for context, for why we're doing this podcast, Zach and I have had multiple discussions in the last week about this.
Right.
This actually largely spun off the Michael Tate situation.
Right.
And there was some musicians. Well, there was one in particular that I've started listening to the discography a little bit, but I tend to find an artist and then I am like on that artist for a couple weeks and then I find another one because I'm a music major, so that's just what I do. But anyways, I started listening to Paramore just a little bit. And phenomenal vocals. I don't agree with every message in each of their songs, but for the most part, they're pretty clean. There's a couple songs with some lyrics I don't like, but for the most part, it's chill rock music, right? Pop rock kind of stuff, and phenomenal voice. But it's no secret that she struggled with depression the last few years and is trying to come out of it and is exploring different avenues. And when I think. I say this out of sincere care. I think she's gone downhill in a few other areas more recently, but besides the point. She made a comment after the Michael Tate situation, and I'm not going to quote it directly because there was some language in it, but most of the heart of it I am okay with, I understand, and that's that, I hope the CCM industry burns. What happened with Michael Tate, what he did was terrible. But then she went on to say the lack of gender-affirming support in the Christian community is also just as heinous, essentially, is what she said, essentially. That's a paraphrase.
Right.
So it got me thinking, all right, I disagree with the gender-affirming support position because I'm a Christian.
You're right.
But it brought up another question. How has the church failed? And this is the exact question I asked Zach. How sad is it that the church has failed so bad that people can't feel like that they can go to their church or go to their pastor or elders or even deacons
or another member
or other mentors in their lives, right?
Right.
And can't tell them that they're having a struggle with something over fear of being canceled or losing status or
Right.
something, basically being punished.
Right.
And I think that fear is legitimate.
Right.
Matthew 18 is what I want to bring everyone back to, and it's that you're supposed to treat everyone who is trying to right themselves with grace and with love. You're not supposed to cancel them. Now, okay, if somebody comes up to you and they're going to be unrepentant and do whatever they want, then okay, that means you have to set a boundary.
Yeah, they're just coming up and telling you, "Hey, I'm doing this thing, and I don't care what you say."
That's different.
That's different.
That's different. But you're supposed to be helping people, being the iron that sharpens iron, to bring them back to Christ,
right?
Not kick them out.
Right.
And
I think I had this response to you
mm-hmm.
to that question of, okay, so fire and brimstone preachers, the preachers that get up on the pulpit and are sitting there, they're doing nothing but calling attention to the punishment.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing nothing but that. No.
Yeah, that's not good.
No. Yes. But do not go up on your pulpit. If you are a pastor, do not go up to your pulpit and all you're going to talk about is the punishment aspect of sin. Now, that being said,
mm-hmm.
and I told you this, that being said, don't shy away from it.
Yeah.
Don't shy away from it. Don't shy away from talking about the flood when Noah built the ark. Don't shy away about talking about places like Sodom and Gomorrah where God just leveled 2 cities.
Yeah.
Don't shy away from God commanding King Saul, "Hey, go wipe out this people because they are sitting in my sight."
Yeah. You
don't
can't
shy away. You can't shy away.
You can't
from
shy
it.
away from it. But it goes back to what the heart of the problem is. The
Right.
heart of the problem was they didn't want to repent. They didn't want to change. And so that's why God burned the whole place down.
Right.
And speaking of Sodom and Gomorrah, in Genesis 19:4 and 5, it says, before the men that came down, by the way, were the angels that were visiting Lot. And it says, before they lay down, the men of the city, the men of Sodom and Gomorrah, surrounded the house, both young and old, and all the people from every quarter. So, basically it's mostly guys, but it says all the people. That's I don't believe that's that's not necessarily masculine in gender in the Greek, so it could include women as well. And it says they called to Lot and said to him, "Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so that we may have sex with them." So basically all of these young and old and whoever many people, they just wanted to have basically an orgy with the angels.
Right.
And that's right in the LGBT category.
And slight detour. I know we both get distracted, but slight detour. These angels. This is one of the few times where it actually describes what the angels look like.
Yeah.
These angels are men, or look like men.
Yeah, they're in masculine or like a person form.
They're in person form. Now,
I think it is masculine.
I've said this before in the podcast. I've said this before in the youth group. Most of the time, when an angel appears before a human, we don't get a description for them.
Well, you get some rings and stuff, some eyes, just
multiple
wings, like 6 on each side.
Careful. Now, be careful, Nathan, because I think, in my opinion, when I read the Bible and I see those with who are like rings of eyes with wings, it's
actually Sauron.
Well, no. You need to go to a context.
It's got like the 2 wings on the side. Sorry, I'm distracting us.
You need to go to a context and that description of where it's basically a Lord of the Rings eyeball winged thing, eldritch horror type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm reading Isaiah, or oh, I'm reading
Yeah.
Revelation, which means these angels are in heaven.
Job.
Or Job.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful and say,
Yeah.
okay, well, yes, these are biblically accurate angels, and I've said this before. I do not like the memes where they're saying, "Oh, it's biblically accurate angel."
You don't know that. They do not. Whoever's making those generated for stuff,
Exactly.
I think that's AI. But
That's my point.
they don't know.
You do. That's my point. You don't know the angels.
They are freaky looking, though.
They are freaky.
You can't pull that away. They are freaky looking.
Some angels are freaky looking, but for most of my life, I've thought, okay, most of the times when an angel appears on Earth,
Mm-hmm.
and it's specified that an angel appears on Earth, whether it's Gabriel appearing to Mary,
Mm-hmm.
or whether it's these two men, Sodom and Gomorrah,
Right.
they look human.
Humanish. Yeah. They look human, and so I want to bring us back on topic here
Right.
because I don't want to get too stuck on the angels. But
Right. Sorry, but
no, you're fine. That was good. That was good to bring that up.
Right.
There was massive, gross, disgusting levels of
And
irrepentance. So far gone that they couldn't even recognize the angels. They had no perception of that.
By
It
the
was
way-
total depravity.
by the way, Lot doesn't help the situation by offering his daughters,
No, he doesn't.
but
But it also
that-
shows how it's starting to affect Lot. Where, okay, yeah, the men of the city were around him, so maybe he wasn't going to do the gay thing, but he was going to give his daughters out.
Right.
So,
this-
it was starting to creep in.
Right. It's,
So-
at this point, the wickedness of the city was. So when God appeared to Abraham
Mm-hmm.
before this, and Abraham basically begged God to say, "Hey, go save my nephew Lot."
Yeah, in
That's
chapter the end of 18, yeah.
That's basically what was happening.
Yeah.
But when I think it's the angels appear to Abraham and say this,
Mm-hmm.
and for all at this point, for all future times, when God says, "Hey, go wipe out this people," God is justified.
Yeah.
It's the sin of this people, this city, this nation
Yeah.
is so
Well, it's so far gone, and it's like when the Philistines
right.
did their thing. They got wiped out by Joshua, and all of the land of Canaan did. Of course, then Israel got
Israel.
they got Syria'd and Aram'd and
and
Nebuchadnezzar'd.
the,
So
only, the only reason the nation of Israel even survived was because God made promises to them.
that was the only reason. At some points, that was the only reason.
And don't forget when Moses was talking to God on the Mount Sinai. I think this is after the golden calf. God is just saying, "Okay, Moses, bring your family up here. I'm gonna wipe out the rest of them."
And God says, or Abraham says to God.
Moses.
I'm sorry,
This is
Moses. My
Moses.
brain. I said like 3 different names in the same sentence.
Moses is just like, God,
Moses goes up and says,
remember your promises.
"You promised."
You promised, God.
God was like, "You get one more chance. Here, let me
But-
show you my
but-
back real quick."
Yeah. But even then, the nation of Israel God was constantly like, "I want to wipe you out, but I promised you things."
So I want to bring us back on topic.
Right.
I think we've made it pretty clear that gay, lesbian, whatever you want to call it, same-sex attraction or non-sex attraction
And
is a sin.
right.
We 100% believe that it's a sin. We're never going to budge on that.
And that's
Sorry.
I'm sorry. This is what verse 24 of chapter 2 of Genesis says.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's one man, one woman
Yeah. I don't
being made one flesh.
want to get stuck on that
Right.
because I want to talk about the response that
Right.
it's the same pattern and response that the Westernized church has had for a lot of things for the last 50 years.
Right. And
You look at the 70s and 80s, you have the rock movement that started,
Right.
which I understand it goes back a little further than that, but that's really when it became big.
right.
The 70s and 80s rock scene. The churches, the church, Christianity used to lead media, used to dominate media all the way up until the 60s, and then it fell off. But it was still kind of feel good music, like love songs, Beach Boys,
Right.
the Beatles. But then you kind of start to get the modern rock star in with the drug use and that kind of thing.
Right.
And the church went.
Man.
And it was like the first time that the church had a hesitation. And in the 70s and 80s, that's when you really start to see the legalism come out.
Right.
I'm not saying that what they were upset about was wrong. They were properly upset, but it was an improper response. It was a response out of judgmentalism and kicking everybody out. Well, what happens when you kick everybody out of the hospital? Everybody's still sick.
Right.
And that is what I think is absolutely sinful on the church as a whole's part. And honestly, that breaks my heart. The lack of grace and salt in our words has caused so much abrasion, and I've been guilty of it. Things like gay jokes or people say, let's bring back bullying, or let's bring, we need to make sure these, people aren't gay anymore, so we're going to do whatever we can, and if you are, you're out. I don't think that's proper.
Here's the thing. You brought up bowling, and that just reminded me.
Mm-hmm.
There are some points where something called tough love.
That's not bullying, though.
Right. And I'm just saying the bullying is kind of what triggered my brain.
Oh yeah, no, I got you. Yeah.
Tough love. There is something to be said about that. There is something good about that. Jesus is a clear example of exhibiting some tough love. He drove out the money changers twice, once with a whip.
Oh yeah.
So he was sitting there. He wasn't there sitting there flipping tables and lolly daddy da.
Well,
or oh daddy da. He was in there whipping people, saying, "You are making this house a den of thieves." He's caught.
Yeah,
If I can get on my my soapbox for a little bit, he's sitting there calling the Pharisees hypocrites, which they were.
Yeah.
He's sitting there. Even one of his own apostles, Peter, he says, "Get thee behind me, Satan."
Mm-hmm. He does.
He says, and quick aside, no, Jesus isn't calling Peter Lucifer. He's calling Peter
the enemy.
Satan,
literally the enemy.
Enemy, adversary, he who opposes.
Right after he blessed him.
He who opposes me, get thee behind me. Do not oppose me again.
Yeah.
So Jesus was not above tough love, even with Paul. He's just like,
but okay, why was he upset at Peter?
Because right before he calls Peter Satan, Peter's just like, he's saying, he prophesies again about his death. I think this is like I don't remember what time it is. There's like 2 or 3 times he does it. I want to say this is like the second time he does it.
I can't remember.
I can't remember. Don't quote me exact on that. I want to say it's the second time, but it might be.
It might be later.
It might be later. It might be earlier.
Anyways,
that's not the point. Jesus has just prophesied his death. He's like, I'm going on my way to Jerusalem to die for the sins of humanity. Paraphrase.
Yeah. And then
Peter,
I will not allow you to do that.
Peter pulls him aside and rebukes him.
Yeah.
And Jesus is just like, no, you are opposing me. Get behind me.
Yeah.
If you're not going to help me do this, accomplish my mission, get out of my way.
And that mission, this is what I want to hit at. That mission was a mission of grace to humanity.
Right.
And grace, mercy, and literally the greatest love note, anything that we've ever received as a country. Well, that too, but as a
world.
Yeah, a planet, a universe.
Right.
And so, for the church as a whole to take specific struggles, not all of sin, it's not consistent.
Right.
There's some churches that deal better with hold on. There's I want to get this out. There's some churches that, and a lot of churches I think are this way, but there's some churches that, if someone's struggling with lying, hey, come on in. If someone is struggling with, say, pornography, come on in. If somebody is struggling with bad finances or stealing, hey, come on in. Let us help you. Let's counsel you. If somebody is struggling with LGBT,
run.
Don't come here. Like, that's what I've seen a lot.
And
I think that's incredibly hypocritical. If you're okay with some sexual sins but not others, you're tolerant of it but not others, that makes you a hypocrite.
right.
And how many pastors do you know? How many spiritual leaders have you heard of that have sexual struggles? Oh, Michael Tate did.
Right.
And this is it all comes full circle, Zach. It all comes full
right.
circle. The church as a whole, since the 70s, with how the response to the music scene was,
Right.
and also the sexual revolution, let's not forget that, and the hippie movement, but then also other people as well. You know, in the 90s, you've got the grunge movement and really the depression era between the 90s and 2000s, because it went to the 2000s with the emo stuff as well. Even though it was more of a style by that point, but it was still a thing. There were a lot of churches pushing back, and really the only ones not pushing back, I'm sorry. There was a lot of it that was pushing back against those people.
Right.
And it turned from hating the sin but loving the sinner into just hatred, hating the sinner and hating the sin.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right.
That is not your
Now-
calling.
Now, to be fair, if you have someone who's struggling with any sin, and I know we're talking about a specific sect
Mhm.
sect of sin, and we as humans.
I think abortion's going to have to be another day, man.
Yeah, at this point,
we're 10 minutes out from our time, so
right. At this point, abortion's going to be another thing. We might have to delay the next episode and talk about abortion.
That's okay. I think it's worth its own.
It's worth its own. But at this point, if you are okay, so another situation that happened recently, kind of related to music, but not really. It's just something that happened at a concert.
Yeah.
Was the Coldplay incident, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And if we as Christians are okay with a man stepping out on his wife,
Oh, that's not okay.
it's not okay. But I'm saying if we are okay with a man,
Mm-hmm.
if we are being that welcoming presence of like, okay, we realize you have committed a sin, come back in. We will talk with you. We will talk with your wife. We will try and help you fix. But if you're saying, oh, you struggle with that sin, and this is something that us as humans do. I'm guilty of it too. But we differentiate sin. We put sin on levels.
Well,
God.
yeah. Sorry.
Hold on.
Get it out. Yeah.
God. In terms of punishment, God does not differentiate
Yeah.
sin.
Okay. Yeah. I'm tracking with you. Yeah. Oh, asthma.
Yeah. In terms of punishment, God does not differentiate sin. Whether you stole a penny from the poor box, or you're some guy who's like out there stealing, scamming millions of people out of millions of dollars, you're gonna get punished.
I know of. I don't know people personally, but I know of situations where people stole from churches.
Right.
And it's terrible. Stealing is horrible. So, if you're struggling with certain things, I just want to know why. Not if you're struggling. I worded that poorly. If people, that's the word I'm looking for. If people are struggling with certain things, hey buddy, and whatever church it is, most churches are this way. They're tolerant of some things, but not of others.
Right.
I would seriously question the biblicalness of the church.
Right.
I think that if there is absolutely no counseling or confrontation method that's in both real but also encouraging,
right,
you're probably not operating biblically.
right.
And so, the gender-affirming support quote that I want to get back to, that's wrong.
No.
It should be gender confronting support.
Right.
Because that would have helped this whole problem.
Right.
And apparently this was an issue that was going back the last 20 years.
Right.
Had he had a church or somebody that he could have trusted to go to and say, hey, I'm struggling with these crack parties and this, DV, whatever, SA stuff. And, the heart of it is I have same-sex issues and attractions. I need some help.
Right.
If he had the help that he needed, this would have never have happened.
Right.
The newsboys wouldn't be on the verge of collapse right now. There are multiple other bands, Christian groups, people, individuals, whatnot, that struggle with this. That wouldn't be if churches were just biblical.
Right.
And, you want to bring everyone to Christ. You don't want to throw everybody out. I think there is a line. I don't think that I want to be careful with how I say this. Because if we are going for the standard of perfection that people would need to be pastors, that men would need to be pastors, nobody would be a pastor.
Right.
This is where, Paul in the book of Titus, chapter 2, he says, you're going to make sure that you're above reproach and that there's nothing that the Bible could be. I'm trying to remember the exact phraseology. Reviled by.
Right.
Right. The Bible isn't to be, the Word of God isn't to be reviled by our actions.
Right.
And so in that there comes a bit of publicity and making sure that your integrity is good and in check. It shouldn't be maybe the number one thing that you focus on, because if you're only caring about how you look like, then that's ego. That's not correct.
Right.
You should be caring about the heart issue of yourself and other people so that you're not going to be reproachable or bring anything negative against the Word of God.
Right.
The reason why a lot of people feel like they have hurt from Christianity is because they're right. They have been hurt by Christianity.
Right.
They've been hurt by Christians. They've been hurt by people who say that they're gracious and preach grace and preach love, but have never shown it.
Right.
I think that's disgusting. And that doesn't go just for LGBT. That goes for everything.
And this goes back to like the tough love I was talking about earlier. Of you look at Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, as much as he was out there calling religious leaders hypocrites, which
everyone is, but
everyone is.
Beyond that point,
there are some reels I've seen that where people are saying, "Oh, Jesus would call some leaders in the church today hypocrites." You're right. There are some people in church leadership today that Jesus would rightfully call out, say you're hypocrites.
Oh yeah.
There is that. You're right. Yes, there are some people that Jesus would call out hypocrites.
Yep.
But he's also going to be gracious. He's going the woman at the well.
Mm-hmm.
She had 5 husbands, and
the Lord confronted it, but he was nice.
He confronted it, but he's just like, hey,
you've had 5 husbands. Here, take the living water.
Right, take the living water.
He reached out to her. It's the same sin, by the way. It's still basically fornication,
right,
if you wanted a big word for it.
The woman caught in adultery.
In the act. They drag her up, but not the guy.
Not the guy. Now,
interesting.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Yes, part of that is Jesus calling out the Pharisees and saying, "Hey, he was without sin, cast the first stone," and that's important, by the way,
because they were doing it. That's an important point. They
were doing it too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna shy away from that.
If anyone says that a pastor or spiritual leader or whatever is perfect or is saying the greatest things ever, man, you're a sheep, and you're a dumb sheep.
Right.
Like, no, stop that. Stop putting your pastor on a pedestal.
No.
He's a human too.
He's gonna make mistakes.
I make mistakes. Have I made a mistake in youth group?
Yes.
Had I made a mistake in Sunday school?
Yes.
Had I made a mistake at home?
Yes.
Had I made a mistake everywhere else?
Yes.
At school?
Yes.
Literally, like
And
any other location?
yes.
Did I miss one?
I don't think so.
Yes, I did. I have no idea where, but I did.
You made you
Like-
made mistakes everywhere.
Yeah. I'm not claiming to be perfect, and I'm not claiming that people need to be tossed out or whatever.
Right.
But if you're openly living in sin or proudly living in sin, okay, like we said before, that's different. That means there has to be a boundary set.
Right. There.
I don't think you can be.
That's where the tough love of Christianity comes in and says,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm calling you on this.
Yeah.
You can't be this and this."
Oh, here's a good example. I won't say who, but there was a relative who's a pastor that told me the story. They went through the church he's going into has gone through multiple pastors,
Right.
and one of them preached adamantly against immorality, sleeping around, adultery, all that stuff. Adamant against it.
Right.
Well, then this pastor was counseling somebody, and it was a man-woman scenario. Men counseling a woman, and she was a widow, but he was still married.
Right.
Well, I guess his wife had some health issues or something, and he starts going out with this other girl while his wife is in bad health. His wife does end up passing away, but then a few months later marries this other girl. When confronted on it, he said, well, I think the scriptures actually mean this now, and blah, 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 blah. So instead of being honest and humble and saying, I have sinned, I am like David with Bathsheba in this moment, he took the low road and said, nah, that it's fine. That he's no longer a pastor. I think that was a proper boundary. If
Right.
you're living in open sin, no. But if you're coming to church and you're like, man, I'm screwed up. Or maybe you're just visiting, you don't know you're not in biblical alignment.
Right.
Far be it from
Yeah.
people to judge you and give you looks and, oh, why are you here? No. This is a hospital. You come in, we're going to preach the word to you, and we're going to be nice about it, and we're going to offer to help you.
And I have a story too, and I don't remember where I've heard this story.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably several places, and it was it was an example a pastor gave,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was this guy had just gotten hired on as the pastor of a church. He's the new pastor of the church, and to see what kind of church he's going into,
Right.
he dresses up as a homeless man. Has
Oh, I saw that video.
dirty clothes.
Yeah, that was a
I've
video.
shown this to you.
Yeah.
But he has, all the stereotypical homeless person attire on.
Yeah.
Dirty, torn up clothes, dirty, feet with shoes, shoes with his feet hanging out with through holes,
Mm-hmm.
Unkempt hair, all that junk.
Right. He was testing him.
He was testing him, and he walked in there, sat in the back row because they didn't want him sitting anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Sat in the back row. Everyone was giving him bad looks. Everyone was looking at him judgmentally.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the deacons gets up and says, "Hey, our new pastor is here today. Insert pastor's name. You can stand up and come up to the front."
Mm-hmm.
He stands up, comes to the front, and says, "I cannot believe."
Yeah.
And this is I can't remember exactly the exact quote, but he's just like, the gist of it is, I cannot believe the way you all treated me when you thought I was a homeless man.
Mm-hmm. It's
You're,
the problem.
You're exactly right, Nathan.
It's the problem.
The church is a hospital.
Supposed to be.
It's supposed to be the hospital. We have the cure for the deadliest disease known to man.
Yeah.
And we are gatekeeping it. Some people are.
Oh man. Don't get me like that, dude.
That should be convicting to some people.
That was convicting. Ooh.
If you are somebody who does this, who is you are and this is
Ouch.
I was watching. I think this is like a segment from the Joe Rogan podcast, and the guy's just like, and the guy they're talking about Christianity, and the guy goes just like, how much do you have to hate me to not tell me the gospel?
Oh, it wasn't just that too. It was a Penn and Teller,
Right.
Penn Jillette.
Yeah, it's Penn Jillette.
He said, man, if you know how to give me eternal life, and you don't tell me, how much do you have to hate me, or something to that degree? It
something
was
to that effect, right?
Yeah. That by the way, that whole interview was phenomenal.
Right.
But my goodness, Anakin is about to jump on a cable. Watch, his ears are back. Actually, I think he's trying to get my attention. He got it. Anyways, so it is a horrible, horrible, horrible sin. First off, last off, I want to apologize to anybody who's been hurt by the church for whatever reason, not just because you're sexually identifying as something else. I want to apologize because we shouldn't treat people out of judgment.
Right.
But if you've been hurt that way, that's terrible, and I'm sorry.
I am too.
And to the people that, when I was younger, that I, made gay jokes or whatever around and hurt people, I apologize. That was improper. That it was unchristlike.
Right.
There's no room for that. Everybody has a sin. Everybody struggles.
Right.
To place one thing above another is just so wrong.
And I know I've said it before, but we as humans make distinctions in sin that I think God doesn't.
Yeah.
And I made that clear earlier, is in terms of punishment, sin is sin.
Yeah.
And I told that to the youth group because I don't remember what the lesson was, but one of the kids asked, like, is someone like Hitler gonna, if Hitler got saved, would God forgive him? And I was just like, yes.
I think so. Yeah,
if Hitler got saved, God would forgive him.
Paul got saved. He did almost the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it was almost the same thing.
Right.
He was killing how many Christians a day?
Right.
With an organization. It was organized killing of Christians who were primarily Jews, by the way, at that point in time.
Yeah. Now he didn't have.
Just saying.
Now he didn't have access to the technology we have today. He didn't have.
Doesn't matter. It was the same thing.
It was the same thing.
He was still killing people. But whether or not it was nice or not with the showers or with it was a sword, it doesn't matter.
Right.
People were dying.
Yes.
Well, it's not nice. It's horrible either way around.
Right.
Every way you slice and dice it.
It's bad that someone who thinks they're, and I've brought up this passage a lot. I think I want to say it's Luke 14, but I could be wrong. I think I'm wrong.
Okay.
But I want to say it's in one of the Gospels because Jesus is teaching, and a question gets brought up, and Jesus says, in his response, he says, "There will be some that come to me, and say, Lord, Lord, I have served you these ways." And Jesus will say, "Depart from me, I never knew you."
Yeah.
Which means, yes, there are going to be people who call themselves Christian.
Mm-hmm. You say they follow God, but they've been lied to.
Whether they've been lied to or whether they're knowingly doing it. They're the ones lying,
yeah.
I should say. they're the ones that propagating whatever lie it is. There will be those that say that come, and I want to make this distinction because there's the Bema seat and then there's the Great White Throne Judgment. The Bema seat is for believers, and God will say, and God will bring up our charges, and Jesus will say, "No, I covered that," and that's gonna be it. I feel like a lot of people misunderstand the Bema seat.
Yeah.
God will,
Yeah, I
God
think
will
so
bring
too.
up his charges, and Jesus will be like, "No, that's covered. No, that's covered. No, that's covered."
Wait. Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
The Bema seat and the White Throne. Yeah, those are two separate deals.
Those are two separate
Yeah,
things.
Yeah.
Now,
The Bema seat is basically saying you're good.
come on in.
You're in the book.
You're in
fine.
the book. Come on in.
The White Throne. That's where I be
The Great
peeing.
White-
If
the
I'm
Great
before
White
the
Throne-
White Throne, whoo!
The White Throne will be.
Yeah, that's not. That's
You
not
are
good.
not in the book, no matter how much you claim to serve me. Or how much you claim to have
You
served
wanna
me.
join the beast
You-
and false prophet?
You did not serve me. You are
Yeah.
not in the book of life. Enjoy eternal punishment. And I know that sounds harsh. That sounds,
what it is, though.
but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And and as much as I don't like people like I said before, fire and brimstone preachers.
I have a tail.
You have
That's
a tail.
mustache.
As much as I don't like fire and brimstone preachers who are like, all we are talking about is the punishment. All we are talking about is the bad. All we are talking about is what's going to happen to you
Right.
because of your sin. It still needs to be taught.
Yeah, it needs to be.
Because I'm sorry, if you're one of these people, and there are a lot of these people. If you're one of these people who are like, hey, I'll get saved tomorrow.
You don't know that you're gonna make it through the night, bro.
Tomorrow may not come for you.
You may not drive home. Like, you might get in an accident. Brakes might go out. Like, you don't know.
I don't know. I might stand up from this couch trip and
Hit your head on my safe,
hit my head on the safe,
which could kill you. That's
could
the
kill
safe.
me, or fall in such a way that one of these trays breaks my neck and I'm gone.
Floor joists could give out.
In any number of ways.
Sinkhole. TV fall off the wall. That wouldn't kill you.
That won't kill me.
That would be impressive, actually, if that killed you. I would be impressed.
Yep.
I'm just.
Okay, that's a way to go. But anyway, you don't know. You're one. Nathan's right. You don't know whether tomorrow is going to come for you, whether death comes.
Mm-hmm.
The other way tomorrow might not come is Lord might come back during the night.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask a question that's gonna bring us back. If you're struggling with LGBT, like if you are in that community, and there's many in the community that have left or are leaving or are not comfortable,
Right.
suicide rates are really high. So obviously there's uncomfortability and anxiety
There's something
there.
wrong.
A lot of emotional stuff going on.
Right.
If you're struggling, first off, there's hotlines.
Yes.
I'm going to try to put the hotline in the description,
You're right.
the suicide hotline and that kind of
You're
thing. But please find a godly group of people that will help with loving gender confronting support.
Right.
That will take you in under their wing, give you a place to land, and start pouring into you both physically, mentally, spiritually, physiologically, so
Right.
that not only do you physically get better, but you also mentally and spiritually get better, so that you don't struggle with these things. The person I brought up earlier, Haley Williams, pro-LGBT, went through a whole bunch of emotional crap in her younger life, which
Right.
totally understand. Some of that was church hurt.
Right.
I just want to bring that up. Some of that was church hurt. That's what's got me thinking about this whole topic. And now, she was super depressed. And now has been, putting out a couple albums and stuff. She's hurt. She got mad. The whole Michael Tate thing. Got mad. Rightfully
Excuse me.
so, I think. Disagreed with really. I only disagreed with some of the words and the gender affirming stuff. That was
Right.
really all I disagreed with. I think the CCM industry needs to burn. I think it's totally fake. And
Mhm.
I've been on the very
And-
outskirts of it. I only did music
and-
stuff in college and whatnot.
I,
But
I,
please, please, please find a
right.
good group
Um,
of real believers
And
who want to help people.
I want to comment real quick on the burn. The CCM needs to burn comment. I think I told you this when you
Mhm.
initially brought up that comment to me. I was just like, at the very least, this is just the minimum that needs to happen. At the
Mhm.
very least, the CCM industry needs a very, very hard reset.
Oh, it needs the whole rug pulled out.
And whether that's okay, we are taking this down to the studs. Taking out.
That's it.
We are.
I think
At least.
the whole foundation needs to
We
be
are
out.
demolishing this because this is legit a rotting
Burn it.
building. And I say that because whether that just taking it down the studs is all that needs to happen, or hey, we need to demolish this entire thing, and
I don't care how long we go at this point.
I don't care either.
I'm gonna try to season myself here when I say this, because you know my passion about this topic.
Right.
This is two-pronged. The fact that the CCM industry is okay with marketing spirituality from anyone to anyone and capitalize on people's brokenness, spiritual hurt, physical hurt, situational hurt, I think is disgusting. It's a business move, and it's a business that will not look back, that will protect its own. It protected people like Michael Tate forever, and I don't like saying it that way, but it did, and he finally 20 years later comes out and says, "Okay, I screwed up." Why didn't we know for the last 20 years? Apparently, it was Nashville's worst kept secret, and yet still nobody knew.
Right.
Like, come on, really?
Right.
First off, why wasn't he given the help that he needed? But two, why was this protected and enabled and protected? It kept from the limelight.
Right.
Like, who was worried about that? Who? Who else is involved with this?
And okay,
this.
I'm sorry. My question.
Yeah.
For the whole Michael Tate situation, I think we might have said this in our episode, but my question is, okay, what made him come forward now?
I think it was genuine.
I think it was genuine.
I think him backing out right before the tour, I think it was genuine.
But
I will say there was a rumor right before he quit that came out. I think he wanted to get ahead of it and be honest.
Here's the thing, Nathan.
If that was the push, I'm okay with that. Honestly.
If it was genuine, if that's the rub, if that's the way he went, if he says, "Hey, this is genuine. I'm trying to get help." Okay. Yeah. But if it was anything else, if it was a victim who came and said, "Hey, you bring this out, or I will," because that's where my brain went. Is a victim?
Yeah.
Immediately before Michael Tate's apology.
Actually, I don't think a victim would have reached out to their abuser.
Or
maybe it was illegal.
It
could have been a legal thing.
It could have been a legal thing where somebody said, "Hey, you bring this out, or I will." Which that's beside the point. But
he did it.
He did it. That's the point.
Yeah. He's probably one of the few, and this is where it's said, he's probably one of the few that did.
Right.
But with the CCM thing, I said it was two-pronged. An industry that marketing to business that is okay with protecting itself. But the other part is not as this spiritual abuse, but it has turned people away from God.
Right.
And it's almost doubly as sickening as the church turning people away from God from the reaction and response to certain sins.
Right.
But now you have an industry that's actually almost in this weird figure eight of just horribleness where they want to market to the Christians, but on the backside they're horrible people. And then they in turn turn a lot of other people away. And the DC Talk song that Michael Tate helped write and sing was, "What if I stumble? What if I fall? What if I lose my step and make fools of us all?" Well, I guess now we know. And it.
I said this to the kids last Sunday. Of if you are struggling with a sin,
Talk to us.
Yes, talk.
Actually, talk to your parents first.
Well, okay.
We want to help you.
Okay, let me rephrase. If someone is struggling with a certain sin, whether that's alcoholism, whether that's drug use,
anything.
Yeah. And people see you. I'm just gonna pick alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If someone sees you out at a bar getting hammered night after night after night after night, when they're at that bar doing that same thing, they're gonna be like, okay, he professes to be a Christian. What's the difference between us?
Mm.
You are turning people away from the gospel because of your sin. If you're sitting there in public, and that's the other problem with it. If you are, you said this before.
Mm-hmm.
If you are privately committing sin, you're turning people away from the gospel.
Yeah.
Yes, you are, because you are out here saying, "Oh,
you are.
I'm a Christian, but this sin is okay. I'm a Christian, but."
It's like that book, Respectable Sins.
Right.
By Jerry Bridges. I think it's Jerry Bridges. Maybe it's Jeff. I think it's Jerry, though. There's some sins that people just don't think about. Now, okay, there was a point that it was a different topic, but it applies to this. There was a point that somebody brought up of, in the Garden of Eden, if every sin is the same level of punishment, in terms of being deserving of hell, why didn't God tell Adam not to just murder Eve straight up? Okay. Now, this is where I'm going to take a page. Scratch that. This is where I'm going to maybe make some people mad.
Right.
God told Adam and Eve not to eat the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
And before you continue, side note, we do not know what would have happened if they had not eaten the fruit.
We don't know.
Go continue.
So, they ate the fruit. Why was it a fruit? I think it was a fruit because it was something that, you eat every day. You have to do that. It was something that wasn't traditionally at that point that was looked as bad. It was something easy to do.
Right.
And so I think ease of use and ease of abuse is a part of it.
Right.
I do think that in terms of human punishment, there are different levels because you see that in the law.
Right.
The law, if we follow straight up Old Testament, which nobody followed, by the way, but if we follow straight old, that's the thing. That's another thing that makes me upset. People are like, "Oh, I want Old Testament, blah blah blah." I'm like, yeah, but that never happened. Like people, not that it never happened in terms of historical, what the Lord actually was wanting the people to do. It never happened because the people never held it. That's why. If the law was adhered to, there wouldn't be an Israel. Everyone would have died.
Right.
There would be no Jew alive. The law's point was to point out the fact that you can't keep it. That was the point of it.
I don't remember which book of the Bible this is in. I want to say it's Paul who said it, but I'm not sure, so don't quote me on it. He said, anyone who is guilty of one sin or violating one law is guilty of them all.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether you lie, whether you cheat on your spouse, or whether you struggle with another sin.
Yeah.
You commit one sin.
Well, and that's why the heavenly punishment is the same all the way around.
Right.
Because once you break one law, you've broken the whole thing.
Anakin's meowing. I'm sorry.
It's because he's fat. That's why.
Meow. Did he just?
I'll take care of him here in a second.
Yep. After we finish the episode.
Oh, is he okay? I think he's bored.
You think
Looks like he's licking something. Okay. Anyways, yeah. Oh. And on that note, we're gonna end. My cat just threw up on the floor.
At least it was on the hardwood. All right. Sorry to cut this one short, everyone.
That's a way to end the podcast.
Sorry to cut this one short, everyone. Buddy, hey. All right. See y'all later. I'm gonna make sure.
Wait. We gotta wait for the outro. Like, comment, subscribe.
We're 24 subscribers away from 100. Nope.
I'm not even gonna wait for the ending thing. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Yeah.